What's up, guys? Today we're gonna be talking about a very spicy topic. Dark and darker drama is back. So, for those of you who are not familiar with what's been happening with Iron Mace, I believe is the name of the game company that develops it. So, Iron Mace has been sued by Nexon for misuse of, how do I say it? Misuse of intellectual property. So the way this happened is that the people over at Iron Mace, they used to work for Nexon, and they developed a game that was later canceled, and then they parted ways. They made their own company, which then is now known as Iron Mace. And then they made a game that was very similar to the game that was canceled. So yeah, they're being sued for copyright. I don't know if it was copyright really. I forgot it, but it has something to do with, like, misuse of intellectual property. Because to be fair, I mean, to be honest, even though most people probably hate Nexon, but looking at the situation, Iron Mace is really in the wrong here, because they used, like, it's exactly the same game that they developed in Nexon. They brought it out as their own, and that's pretty much stealing. You're not allowed to do that, because anything you make under a company is not yours. It's not your own. So yeah, we're gonna be reacting to Asmongold's video about it. So let's go. Let's take a look.
Dark and Darker is actually back. That's right, and it's right here. You can see Dark and Darker,
launches in early access. Okay.
Early access has finally begun along an arduous journey, but we finally made it to our first milestone. After many trials and tribulations, we have toiled ceaselessly to bring the game to our fans. Now,
so did they? I don't know. Did they win? We don't know yet. We'll know pretty soon, I guess.
They are not re-releasing on Steam, at least at this moment. Okay. But
okay, so no Steam. I think they're releasing on their own launcher, probably. I don't know.
Releasing on another platform called Chaff Game.
Okay, it's not their own platform, but they're releasing on another platform.
I want to say Chafe Games, but
apparently
Games, I've never heard of this place before.
Same,
they have other games as
pretty
well.
Shady.
What the fuck is this? Anyway, for a lot of people that have not known,
that's really
Dark
shady.
and Darker has been in an ongoing lawsuit with Nexon. Nexon is a big Korean developer. Nexon does not have a great reputation. They've made a lot of pay-to-win games and just things that gamers generally resent. So the people that work at Dark and Darker came from Nexon, and there was a lot of questionable behavior that happened. And people didn't even know if this game was going to get released. They thought
so what I told you guys earlier was just a TLDR. Like, there's so much more to the story, so please, like, watch, just do self-research on it.
They were going to get sued and shut down, and it's still kind of up in the air. I don't think that the lawsuit has been dismissed. I don't think that everything has been deleted and removed. I'm just pretty sure that they're able to find a way around it and release it, at least for now. It's a risky move. Well, yeah, I mean, the way I look at it is that they're already taking a lot of risk, and it's not clear yet, and this is, in my opinion, I think a very risky move. So anyway,
it is like the thing is, they release the game and they lose the lawsuit. What's gonna happen? Isn't that worse? Doesn't that cost way more money than just waiting for the results?
Let's go take a look at this.
I think I don't know. I think I think this is more of an ego thing. That guy who leads them, I forgot his name. I think he has a bit of an ego, to be honest.
Game voice IP will also be temporarily unavailable. Legal team wants to make sure all of our agreements are completely perfect. I think that, like, having voice in game, like, my understanding is that especially in European countries, there's a lot of extra things you have to deal with. So yeah, it's not really a surprise that's going on. So let's go back over here. We'll talk about the rest of it.
Here it is. Here is the biggest issue they have right now. So apparently they have an in-game shop with all types of. Well, it's not the things. They're not pay to win. They're all cosmetics, but they're being how do I say this? They're being called out for it.
Dark and Darker, this has actually caught a number of people by surprise and has encouraged a little bit of skepticism of Dark and Darker.
Yeah, so people are now saying that the in-game shop is there to pay off all the legal fees. Because originally there was not supposed to be an in-game shop. So now they're trying to milk the players supposedly to pay all the legal fees. It's speculation. It's not, we don't know if that's true or not.
As a lot of people may or may not know, Dark and Darker even advertised on their platform, on their like what would it be, like website, like Steam page, whatever it was, that like they didn't want to have pay to win or like microtransactions in games. And the thing is with like a lot of people is that even if you say you don't want pay to win, microtransactions are not necessarily pay to win.
Yeah, like not all microtransactions are pay to win. Like especially if it's just cosmetics or like a monthly sub, I don't really think that's pay to win.
So it's like, but you know, people always like to see this little gotcha, right? You know, it's like if you say you're against pay to win and then you have microtransactions, people will be like, but you said, right? Even if it doesn't make sense. So let's go back over and I'll read like some people, like this is what Force Gaming said, for example. Dark and Darker is back. I'm both happy and hesitant. With them changing, having premium currency, and the game being hosted on a site I've never heard of, plus the fact that both the lawsuits are pending, so the game could theoretically get another DMCA takedown.
Exactly. So that's the weird thing. Why are they running this when the lawsuit hasn't even cleared? Like, it's kind of a weird thing to do, actually. And then suddenly there's this in-game shop.
Point, which is very true. And so we'll talk a little bit about the shop, and we'll see what they say about the shop first. So here's the shop. We want to address the elephant in the room and talk about the addition of the in-game shop. All right, here we go. Our assumption when we started this company is that you could still build a lucrative business while being true to your fans. The in-game shop is our attempt at being realistic with the business of running an online game, but trying to find a way to do it without resorting to random loot boxes and FOMO items.
Well, that's fine, but, you know, we'll see.
We want to offer players a fair way to support us while still enjoying the game. Please let us know how you think we're doing on this front. In addition to the endgame shop, we've added the Founders Edition, the add-on pack, and to show our.
Wait, how much is the game anyway? I don't actually know how much the game is. Why don't we search it? Dark and Darker price. $35. I mean, I guess it's pretty cheap, not gonna lie. It's pretty cheap for a modern game. Modern games are usually $70 now, right? Or actually like 60. 70 is like PS5 price.
Stuck through it, etc., right? So the expectation with this is that this is like a picture of it, and you know, we've all seen this, haven't we? And this is just very clearly and very obviously, you know, the premium currency that Dark and Darker now has.
Redstone shards.
Redstone shards, the premium currency of Dark and Darker, empowering you to acquire cosmetics and provisions to accompany you on your
cosmetics are fine, but what are these provisions, I wonder?
Journey. Players can purchase redstone shards in their local currency. In-game currency, including purchase of redstone shards, is non-refundable. So this is pretty much normal, and you know.
So it's $2 per shard, is it? Yeah, it looks like it's $2 per shard.
Okay. It's cosmetic, and then there's also, of course, a Founders Pack that you can also purchase too.
It's pretty cheap though. Look at the pricing. It's $35 for the standard and $50 for the. What is this? Founders Pack. I think that's pretty cheap.
That gives you apparently a skeleton skin,
And
maybe
an
this blue
emote.
torch, and a couple of other things. I'm not really exactly sure what these are.
I think that one.
Do these
was an
things
emote.
provide any sense of a combat advantage? So here's the best example that I can use of like a skin being an advantage is like, you remember did anybody play Warzone, like Warzone 1, where like you had that Rose skin that was like really, really skinny, and it was also like super black. So like it was harder to shoot that character. So I could see a situation
Well,
where
yeah, if the hitbox changes because of the costume, then that's pretty much fucked up.
happens. But
Another example is in the old days of VDO, the ghillie suit. What was the problem with it? The nameplates would not show up, so like it would be hard to actually see players around you. But this time around, even if you wear a ghillie suit, you will have a nameplate. It'll be unknown player, but at least like other players will be able to see you coming. So back in the old days, it was kind of a pay to win cosmetic, pay to win costume, because it gave that sight advantage.
But I think that they do have to worry about being in a situation where, like, I remember the ghillie suit was like this in
Yeah, exactly.
BDO back in the day too. People had the same conversations about it.
Yep,
So
that's what I was saying.
whenever I see this, I don't necessarily think it's a bad thing. And I know that there's a lot of people who are, like trying to shit on them and like getting mad, like, M provisions. Well, like I'm going to wait. Are they selling anything whenever people are talking about provisions?
That's the problem.
Is there anything that is being sold that provides a gameplay advantage? 2 of the classes, you have to spend money to unlock them. Is that correct? It's a skeleton skin and a dungeon full of skeletons? Yes. So no. Well, I mean, wait a second. Like, I mean, how is it? Like, I mean, it's a yes or no question. How am I getting 2 different answers? I'm fine with them since it's a small company and they had legal issues. Well, you can pay to unlock them or play to unlock them. Okay, but you can spend money. Well, okay.
Well,
so
is that like what's another game that does that? You can either pay to unlock or play to unlock. So the thing is, if you can earn it in game by normally playing, but there's an alternative to pay for it to get it faster, isn't that pay to win though? I mean, I guess it's pay to win in a way, right? I don't really think it's that bad though.
you can spend money to expedite unlocking content.
So this is what we call pay for convenience, I guess. And in most cases, pay for convenience is pretty much just pay to win, right?
in the game. Is this a correct assumption? Okay, so there is some degree of advancement that you can spend money to obtain. Okay, that's pay to progress. Yeah, I mean, is it pay to win? Like, I don't know. Like, I mean, everybody has like a different like line. I mean, if you say that's pay to win, like how is like League of Legends not pay to win, etc.
Oh yeah, League of Legends. League of Legends is it the same way? I don't know, I forgot. The last MOBA I played that was somewhat like that was Heroes of New Earth, RIP. So you could either play the game to earn currency to buy the heroes, or you could just straight up buy it. So I don't know.
So I'm not going to go out and get on a soapbox about this. I'll go back and I'll read the rest of this real quick. So we'll finish this off and then we'll talk about it a bit more. Finally, want to be very upfront, let users know there will be many growing pains during the early access phase. Many key features are still missing, but will be added in upcoming months. We'll be experimenting with the leaderboard system, and we'll do our best to be transparent about the ranking schedules so players don't get too stressed out. Just like our game, our launcher was built from the ground up, and they're both still a work in progress. Although we've been putting both the game launcher through the paces internally, we know there will be bugs that have slipped through the cracks. We appreciate your patience and understanding, etc., etc., etc.
Okay, like, what do you guys think about early access? So, I am a big advocate of being against releasing incomplete games. Like, I don't mean in the sense that incomplete, like, I mean live services always releases incomplete, but what I mean is like incomplete in terms of features. So like feature incomplete. Yeah, I'm very against releasing games that are feature incomplete. I believe they should be released in their full form in terms of features, as expected for this, this phase or this episode or this arc. Because live service is obviously supposed to, it should be an ongoing game, right? So yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to feel about this.
So this is what I think. I have had a
'Cause,
very
the thing with the early access, is it like, does your data, they're already selling, the thing is they're already selling the game, right? But it's called early access. So how does this, are they already selling the game? I don't know. Is early access a free thing where you just test the game? Because from my understanding, early access is different from a beta or an alpha test. Am I right or am I wrong? Let me know in the comments below if I'm wrong or what. But that is the way I understand it. So, so it seems pretty weird. Like a lot of game companies are doing this. Usually the smaller companies. But I guess it's their way to like earn some money as well. So I don't know.
very, very varied coverage of this game.
No, actually, did Baldur's Gate 3 have an early access? I think they did, right? But that was the thing with Baldur's Gate 3 is it's not Baldur's Gate 3 isn't a live service, but this is live service, right? Because if there's gonna be leaderboards and it has to be live service, right?
I remember whenever I looked at the lawsuit, I was like one of the only people who was a little bit skeptical about Iron Mace. I didn't believe what they were saying. And I actually thought that they did do something bad. I thought they were
well, they did. The thing is, they did. Like, it was clear as day what they did, right? The guy, what was his name? I forgot his name. The guy who's leading the team got pissed off. He stole all of the stuff they were working on and brought it on. Wait, actually, I remember now. Like, he was already trying to steal it while he was still in the company. I think that's what was happening. Yeah, I was already developing it with another like company while he was in Nexon. So yeah, that's pretty fucking bad, man. Like, if I were Nexon, I would get pretty fucking mad. It's very sus.
A little bit disingenuous, I'm going to be honest. An example of this, and this was a leak from a Korean website, and it was a person who had been verified through the website, although they were anonymous publicly. That was a worker at Nexon, and this is the example I'm going to use. I'm not going to use a bunch of other ones. I'm just going to use this one. Is that Iron Mace had said that they had used that Nexon was shutting them down for using store assets. However, it is apparently common in game design, or at least it was common at Nexon, to use store assets from the Unreal Store
during
as
placeholders
before the internal assets were developed.
Exactly.
So
I mean, that's how it usually is, right? You do have you don't make the final assets right away. You use placeholders first for testing and stuff.
Developing and working on, it was like Project 3 or something like that. I don't remember what it was, but it was something like this at Nexon. Used these exact same animations and these exact same characters. Mm-hmm. So whenever they said that, they're trying to shut us down for store assets, that's technically true, but they left out the fact that those store assets were also used in the internal testing of the Nexon game as well. And I think that was intentionally disingenuous. And I'm the kind of person that whenever I smell smoke, I think there's a fire. And as soon as I see any degree of inaccuracy, any degree of obfuscation, any degree of anything, I immediately assume that the person is a fucking liar, right?
Yeah, like it's really hard to defend Iron Mace now because it's just so bad now.
Just how it is. That's how I am. I bought and sold a lot of things over my time on faith, you could say, and where you can't just go and get things fixed and all right, well, I'm just gonna have you've got to have an element of trust. And whenever somebody ever did something like that, I immediately stopped talking to them. I stopped dealing with them, and I was cordial about it most of the time, but it wasn't something that I wanted to do. What's obfuscation? Making things hard to understand. Smoke screen. Making it to where like you are not seeing the full picture, right? So
basically lying.
Nexon was developing the same game, and the guy worked there. Exactly. So it's like, like the implication was that Nexon was being overbearing, but the truth is that they were developing, at least if they're using the identical assets, a facsimile, a replication of the game that they were.
Well, it's not just the assets. They're basically developing the same game. Like, the code is probably similar, probably not exactly the same, but I mean, they're like trying to make a copy of the game, basically, right?
Working on a Nexon. So I don't want to get too into the lawsuit. There's a lot of other things that were accused, and of course it is ongoing. I did not believe Iron Mace to be completely innocent, and I actually assumed that Dark and Darker probably would not happen, based off of what people told me about South Korean law, but what the fuck do I know? I don't even speak Korean. So I could be totally wrong, and the truth is that I played Dark and Darker. There's a video of me, McConnell, and Grayson playing it. I think S-Fan played with us for a bit too. And we had a lot of fun playing the game. It was awesome. We loved it. So I like this game. I think this is a great game. So I don't want anybody to think that I am trying to shit on them or I want them to fail. But I just don't necessarily trust everything they said. And I think that a lot of people just automatically agreed with them because it was like a David and Goliath situation where like Nexon
is the
big
Goliath.
Bad publisher, greedy, pay-to-win games, Iron Mace, the little guy trying to do the right thing, they're right, and so like I saw this and I was like, fuck, I'm gonna give the opposite opinion. I got a lot of shit for this. And
yeah, so like I immediately was on the opposite side because like once I knew of the situation, it's really hard to like side with Iron Mace because stealing is not cool, man. Like, I know there are different laws about this in other countries. Example China, they do like copy a lot of games, but this is kind of different because they were in the company. It's not like they waited for the game to be released and then copied it, because that's what China usually does. No hate to Chinese people, Chinese viewers. I'm just stating facts here. I didn't mean to be racist or anything. So this is pretty bad.
You know what? Maybe I could be wrong. Maybe I could be wrong, and it turns out that Iron Mace does not get sued. They did not violate any laws. And you know what? I think gaming is going to be better because of it. I want this game to come out. Despite whether they lied about store assets. I don't care about this, really. This is not my problem. I'm just, I'm just commenting on it. The truth is that I do hope this game is successful. I do hope it comes out. And I will play it.
I never even played the game. I don't even know how it plays. I was just aware of this, this whole thing, and then now there's an update, so I'm making a video about it.
So whenever I see the in-game store, let's talk about the in-game store, okay? I don't consider this a problematic thing, but I think that it can be problematic. And the reason why it can be problematic is because skins and concealment, not cover, concealment in this game is S-tier value. And in the same way that the Rose skin provides you an advantage, or provided you an advantage in Warzone 1, I think that in the same way, a skin in this game could also provide you an advantage. Let me give you an example. So if you have a skeleton skin, and the skeletons are identical to the skeletons in the game, you have that second or two whenever a person identifies another moving target that they don't know if it's a player or not. They have to make a second level of decision. Is this a real skeleton or is this a fake skeleton?
Wait, is there PvP?
I think that Dark and Dark...
Is there PvP in this game? I don't know. I think there is, I guess.
Darker should be extremely careful about this. And I actually think that a better...
I mean, if there are nameplates, I think nameplates... It was nameplates that was missing in BDO with the ghillie suit. So as long as there are nameplates, it should be fine.
This is just me being an armchair developer. I don't know. What the fuck do I know? But I really think what they should do is they should have personal player housing, and you can put up the different weapons and cool things that you've obtained inside of those houses, and other players can visit them, and you can buy cosmetics for those houses. That way it would not negatively affect gameplay, but players could still buy things to, to look cool, etc. I think also weapon skins, because it's always better for a skin to be like basically a disadvantage versus an advantage. So like, for example, if you had like a really shiny sword, I don't really see a universe where a shiny weapon would have any value in the game, and I think it would actually have a negative value in the game. So it's a weird thing where unless something has a tangible negative value, people can always make an argument that it could have a positive value in certain situations.
Someone said I want an Asmongold skin.
And whenever Dark and Darker is a winner-take-all loot extraction game, seeing that you have, losing to something that you feel like could have been an unfair advantage, like a skin, it's going to fuck with people's heads, and it's going to create a lot of toxic discourse. So I am really concerned.
I mean, he does make a point. It's like a very small thing. What he mentioned was like very like, it's not really like a big issue, but if you look at it like that, it does become an issue.
I hope they take players' feedback into consideration. Things like, let's take a look at this. Things like this blue torch, I can't see a problem with this at all. I think this is completely fine. Same with different, emotes and things like that. But in terms of player skins, I can see this being an issue. Not only in terms of, obviously like people like having false positives, false negatives, but also, things being harder to see and hitboxes being different. So let's talk a little bit about this. I'll read some comments and we'll get into it. And also, I think Dark and Darker has burned a lot of their goodwill. And the reason why is that there was that whole situation that happened with the lawsuit, and then the guy came out and he was trying to like raise money and do a GoFundMe. Then it got shut down.
That did happen.
That made them look really stupid.
That made them look really, really bad.
Hold on that was the dumbest thing I've ever seen. And then after that, they released it on like a torrent. And I talked to Chance about it, Soda, and he said that like it was laggy and problematic. So it's like you have to go through all this extra work to download a torrent, right? You got to keep in mind some kids nowadays do not.
Wait a minute, they released the game on torrent? After that, I didn't even know. What the fuck? Wait a minute. Oh shit. That's so bad. Bro, you guys, oh man, you guys should, if you guys don't know what you're doing, please stay away from torrents, because there's a lot of ways that bad actors can exploit you with torrents.
With LimeWire, didn't grow up with Pirate Bay, they don't know how to download a fucking torrent.
Yep, exactly.
Right? They think a torrent is like effectively just like a dark web virus or something like that. And so this happens as well. And so you have like a comparatively worse product that you have to work harder to get. And you also have like weird drama happening with the company. And there's like a lawsuit that is ambiguous. A lot of people are going to be at least very concerned about buying any sort of cosmetic in this game whenever the game could just go up in smoke at any moment.
Exactly.
My opinion on this, I worry about in-game currency when the lawsuit is still ongoing. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and all your stuff could just get deleted.
Exactly. That's right. A pretty dangerous
thing.
But
just keep in mind, guys, please keep in mind, all of the money that you spend on a video game is already deleted.
That's true. Okay, that's I've been wanting to talk about that. So actually, I think it's better off in a different video because I wanted to compare it with something. So yeah, he does have a point. Anything you spend on video games is gone forever, unless you RMT. You get where I'm going? Unless you RMT, or that other thing that I was talking about in my previous video. But yeah, I think it's a topic for a different video, not here.
You've already wasted your money. You're never getting it back. There's been a lot of conversations about this, but let's read some of the comments here. Let's see here. If it's not on Steam, then I'll wait. I think also people are waiting for it to be on Steam, because Steam is kind of like that, I don't know, what's the word for it? Stamp of approval.
It's like...
It's a real one. It's not
right.
some bullshit. It's not something like that's a scam, etc. Like, it's the real deal. So, the fact that they can't get on Steam, that makes things really weird. So let's go look at this and provisions. Well, but I don't really like. Let's wait until that happens. I think that also keep in mind I used League of Legends as an example beforehand. The truth is, League of Legends is also a free.
Wait, is the game actually free to play? Because look at what Force Gaming is saying. Oh yeah, I didn't expect them to be free forever, but changing. So progress means. They also never said the game was going to be F2P, did they? They just had playtest. Yeah, I don't think they ever said the game was going to be free to play. I mean, I guess it's not, because it's being sold for $35 now.
Free game. Dark and Darker is apparently $35.
Yeah, $35.
So if you want to buy the game, you're not going to have all of the content from the game just by buying it right off the rip. You've got to unlock it. But if you spend more money, then you can get extra characters. So that's not really super great. And I think that whenever and this is the problem, right? And I don't want to open up a can of worms here, but do you remember what I said about how Elon Musk made a mistake by saying he was a free speech absolutist? Because nobody actually is. There's always going to be exceptions and stuff like that. Well, this is kind of the same thing, is that whenever you say that you're against microtransactions, even though, like, there's obviously, like, a massive difference between, like, pay-to-win loot box mechanics versus, like, a cosmetic in a video game, or, like, unlocking something that is a one-time unlock, like PoE, stash tabs, but in the mind of an audience, right? Because you're selling to the public, right? So even though the public is stupid, you still have to deal with them, right?
That's
so
true.
I think that they did make a mistake in communication by, putting themselves out like, oh, we're out to stop the big guys. We're not about microtransactions, etc.
Yeah, so that's the problem, because they put out a statement that, we're this and they're that, but then they do this.
Because they attract an audience of people who are going to be just like categorically against any microtransaction. And especially now with Baldur's Gate that just came out, and it didn't need any microtransactions, how the fuck does something that's using Unreal Store assets need microtransactions, right? It's an obvious question to ask, and I think it's reasonable for people to feel that way. But the truth is that these things probably don't seem to affect gameplay, and I'm not out on this game right now. Just because of these changes.
Yeah.
I'm not out on the game.
I think it's not too bad.
Definitely
but it's very
a
sus.
little bit sussy.
Yep. Sussy baka.
Yeah. Just a little bit, right? Just a little bit. It's a risk to buy. True. It is a risk to buy.
It's a big risk to buy, because it could shut down anytime. Like, I would understand if you could get like maybe 5-10 years out of it before it shuts down, but what if you buy it now and then literally next month it gets shut down?
Absolutely is. And apparently they don't have regional pricing. I was looking at some of their subreddit posts, and that is also a bit problematic for a lot of people. So yeah. Mining Canary? I don't think it's a Mining Canary. I think the Mining Canary was the GoFundMe. And I think that was just that the company is... I think that Iron Mace seems to be mismanaged.
Yep. I think so too.
And at least it was then. It might be totally different now, but back then it seemed completely mismanaged. Regardless of, like, they fixed that. Is this going to affect players? It seems that way. So yeah, this game stinks. I find it weird that out of nowhere they announce it's live while the lawsuit is still going on. I think that the people that work at Iron Mace are impulsive. And impulsive people scare me because they make bad decisions because they're impulsive. I hate impulsive people.
Yeah, I think the guy, I forgot his name. I can't remember the guy that's leading them. The guy that, that leads the team. I think he's the impulsive one. Cause why on earth would he like try to hide the fact that he was like trying to make the game already with a different like set of people while he was still in Nexon. So that's really, 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 really sus, man.
Because nothing like you never know what they're gonna do. It freaks me out all the time. It's not what I'm about at all. So yeah, if you check out the lawsuit, there's some really retarded stuff about Iron Mace's head guy. He's behaving like he's 12. Well,
exactly, the head guy is what I'm talking about.
I don't know what they're doing. I have no idea. But I'm just saying that it seems like the company is mismanaged. So yeah, let's see here. Feels like the ship has sailed on this one. Was fun as free to play, but $35, unfamiliar website, and premium currency, no thanks. That is a bit of a hat trick, isn't it? I do think that the game, like, I'm pretty sure you had to pay money for the game whenever it came out, right?
Well, that's the thing. Did they ever say that? I don't remember.
Bucks? Am I wrong about that? I might be misremembering, but yeah, like, I mean, it was...
No, like, the test was free. Like, the test was free, but, like, did they ever... Yeah, because I'm reading the chat. You guys can see the chat. Did they ever say what the price was going to be when it released?
It was free? Was it a free game? Yeah, it was playtest? Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like, I would expect, like, bro, like, you can't expect that people are upset because you're able to earn items now. They're selling them. I'm not sure if that's what's happening. The test was free. Yeah, the play test is free. I don't know. Like, I don't think that's a big deal. Hold the line emote. That's totally fine. This feels ungenuine. Seems like they want to milk out as much money as possible to film, to fund their ongoing website lawsuit against them.
That's what I was saying. People think they're doing this to fund the lawsuit.
I think that is exactly what's happening, by the way. That is exactly...
It could be. I mean, looking at all the facts, I think it all points to that.
Exactly what is happening. Let's see here. Of course, they're going to try to make, not milking, right? But they're trying to make money to fund the lawsuit. Sorry, I don't want to, say that they're bad actors. I'm not sure. It's shady as hell. No announcement. Trial didn't even begin. Feels like a rug pull situation. Well, unlike CryptoZoo, it's, you can only lose, like, what, $50 on this one? They had zero hype to the release. They just sprung it. Well, yeah, they did. And I think that that's what I was saying before about Iron Mace being an impulsive developer. And I think this will... I've never seen a person who's impulsive have their impulsiveness be a positive force in their life.
That's true.
Let me just say that. I've never seen
Me
it
neither.
happen. Every time somebody is like super impulsive or something like that, they will somehow fuck their life up at one point or another. And sometimes it usually happens a lot quicker than you'd expect.
That's true.
So yeah, they did it for the fans. Yeah, but like if you're doing it for the fans, don't you deserve to deliver the best experience possible?
Yeah, you should probably like think it through. Probably wait for the lawsuit to clear.
Don't you deserve to give people confidence, etc.? I'm not gonna, again, go back and fucking talk about this. But the point is that Dark and Darker is back. It's on a weird launcher that I've never heard of before.
Shaft Gaming.
It's now $35. There is an in-game shop with buyable classes apparently on the shop, as well as a skin that has an arguable advantage, very arguable. And there are a lot of people who are very mixed in the way that they feel about this. If you are in it for the long haul and you don't have a lot of money,
just wait.
I would not recommend buying this game right now.
Yeah, just wait.
You could be building a castle on sand. A $35 castle on sand.
I mean, $35 isn't a lot, but like it's just the kind of situation where you see the bridge is like old and about to break. Like, why would you cross?
The lawsuit that they have against Nexon, or that Nexon has against them, is still ongoing. The trial apparently has not even started. So
Damn.
they could shut this down at any time. $35 is a lot of money, to be honest. It is for some people, and it's not for others. But if you liked the game before, you respect what Iron Mace is trying to do, you enjoyed it, and you want to play it again, there you go. darkanddarker.com.
Love ng kids ang taste ng Eden.
Well,
milk, vitamins, and calcium. Di tinitipid.
Let me mute this. So, I guess that's the end of the video, probably. Let's just wait a bit. Yeah, it is. So, yeah, my thoughts on this, it is kind of sussy. Like, they didn't release any, you know, trailers and anything. It just came out of the blue. And I do believe that guy, I still can't remember his name, the guy who's leading the team is very impulsive. And I think he's gonna fuck everything up. I think he's gonna fuck everything up. I bet he was the one who posted that GoFundMe as well. So yeah, I people are saying this is, you know, the shop is to you know, pay the legal fees. It probably, I think it probably goes beyond that, because after the legal fees, like, I mean, it's probably the sales they're gonna get from this is probably not gonna be enough to pay the legal fees, right? Like, let's be honest, it's probably not gonna be enough. So like, they're gonna be in debt, and you know, they're gonna have to pay the developers, they're gonna have to pay employees and all of that. Oh my god, they're gonna have to pay the platform, Chaff Gaming or whatever that was. So I don't see a good future for Dark and Dark, honestly. I never wanted to play it. I mean, it's not that I hate it. Like, it was never in my sights. But, you know, it's sad to see something like this happen. I might give it a try if, you know, if the lawsuit clears out and they're found innocent or whatever, they ever come into some sort of agreement. They can always do that. Just pay Nexon X amount of money, right? So yeah, really sad for this. Well, it is what it is. Can't do anything about it. So yeah, I will see you guys again on the next video. Be sure to give Asman a like, subscribe. So yeah, bye bye. Otskuro.